Without further ado, here's Scott Sanderson. A couple of things to keep in mind is that if you have questions, please drop them in the chat and I'll read them out to him. And this way we keep the conversation flowing in both directions. There you are, Scott. Please go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Hash. Welcome, everybody. I'm not sure who the commercial was for. It kind of sounded like a Vendasta plug, but certainly it was a commercial. So any chance they get. Just a brief thing about me. This is my 5th tech startup. I'm in Canada. I'm in Calgary by the mountains, so think Denver. This particular one is specifically focused on unlocking small businesses' ability to leverage their data on the internet ecosystem. And we partnered with Vendasta because we really realize businesses are not really approachable from somewhere like a software company directly. They need a little bit of a handhold. They need someone to call when there's a problem. And when we were approached by Brendan at Vendasta to say, how do we really get low budget ad campaigns to be effective for small businesses and make it so that our partners don't have to manage it? So we don't ask you in our search stuff, we don't ask you for keywords. We ask you what's the target area, what's your budget, and what's the URL you want it dropped off to. And then our software takes over and manages everything for you. We've recently launched a display ads product with the same model. How do we teach you guys and teach these small businesses that Google display advertising can be very effective, specifically in certain industries? The one I want to talk about today, because I want to give you a tool that you could go out and like this afternoon sell it to somebody and start making money with it, is what we call the hospitality services product. So these are display ads specifically built for restaurants. And the reason I want to start with this is because we recently did a case study. This happens to be in a Canadian resort town by the mountains called Canmore, Alberta. And the proprietor was having trouble coming out of COVID, trying to restart her business. And we ran our first hospitality display campaign for her. And we'll talk a little bit more about it, but the highlight is that she got a $260 to 1 return on ad spend. So she spent $5, got $1,600 in same-day sales. So this is something that you can really go to any restaurant and talk about. And we'll come back to this. They don't technically need a restaurant. In fact, this one was dropped into Google Business Listings. It's funny with display, it's less about click-through and more about the till. So people will see, oh, there's a taco special. It's going on today. It's in the city that I'm aware or I live in or town, right? I don't click through. And if I do, I'm just clicking through to get directions because I'm coming to your restaurant. So that's how that one particularly worked. Just a quick rundown. I'll try and be fast with these. What is display advertising? It's a type of online advertising that involves running visual ads. So unlike search, these are visual. Right? They appear on websites, apps, and they include a call to action to drive new business often. They can appear on any type of site that a consumer visits. On the Google Display Network, which is what we specifically focus on, they're visual, they're in videos, they're on YouTube, they're in emails, they're in websites, blog posts, news feeds, mobile apps, and games that a nearby consumer browses. So the Google Display Network is a collection of over 35 million websites and apps and videos that reach 90% of every internet user across the globe. And it's also featured in Gmail, Blogger, YouTube. Those are the Google-owned properties. So when you're doing micro campaigns and you're tightening up the geolocation of them, which is what we're going to teach you how to sell and how to do that, the trick is you need reach. Now, many, if not almost all, small restaurateurs, they have run or are running some kind of a Facebook ad. And it's because it's really simple to do the targeting. You just put it in there and Facebook takes your money, but I'm not sure what they really give you in return compared to Google ads. Now, Google ads are a little bit more complicated, but we've demystified that in our interface, which we'll show you. But the difference is that as soon as you get onto Facebook and you say, I'm doing Taco Tuesday, like I would never see it because I'm not on Facebook. And if I am on Facebook, it's to pay some bill that one of my staff members has bought something for. But the reality is that you cut the market, the addressable market, in half. So not only is the cost per click and the cost per 1,000 impressions, that's what CPM and CPC stand for, much better in display ads by Google, When you compare it to the reach, Google's reaching 90% of the audience, and Facebook is reaching half of that. This is in a deck that I'll send to you guys, or get Hash to send to you as resources that you can use, brand, customize, and we're here to help you. But when they ask about Instagram's great, but you just got rid of 80% of the addressable audience, right? LinkedIn is not great for hospitality. Twitter, if you're Elon Musk, you wish more people would use it, but if you're a bot, you're probably there. But it's all about reach at this point and the cost per 1,000 impressions. How many people can you reach, and how much is it going to cost you to do it? Just quickly, some of the features and benefits. These are visually appealing ads. You control the brand messaging. They're great for brand awareness, so you can get in front of customers. They generate event awareness. This is an interesting part. What we're going to talk about is, consumer behavior doesn't really search for something that they don't know about. Like, you're not really looking for Wing Wednesday or half price wine night. And if you do try and do those searches, you'll be disenchanted with the results that you get, because businesses are not able to post that into the search or click stream. This is about saying, hey, there's something going on. It's near you. You should act. So if we were going to try and get Hash to come to the little cafe across the street for a lunch special, he needs to be prompted to do that. He's not really searching for a lunch special because he always brings a sandwich because he wants to play ping pong. But if he gets a good, promotion at the right time, it might get him to walk across the street and patronize that restaurant. That's what this is about, reaching them at the right time with a message that works for them. And we'll talk a little bit about day parting and how we do that. Targeted in time, you can literally say, I want to reach the people within 5 blocks of my business, or this zip code or postal code for the Canucks out there. And I want to turn my ad on at 11 o'clock and turn it off at 12:30, and I want to spend $5. This is what we're talking about here. So, and it works unbelievably well. And that's what you saw with the Taco Tuesday, which we will also talk about a little bit more. For other things like home services, things of that kind of nature, we've had a great success with dental campaigns as well, but that's another conversation for another day. But when we combine a micro search campaign with a micro display campaign, we actually see quite a bit of a lift in the consumers and an overall lift in conversion by about 60%. So those two things are not mutually exclusive. When they're combined, they can work quite well, and we have some information more about that. But the real thing is that the return on investment is quite high. When you consider online advertising is very inexpensive compared to offline, the average cost to reach 1,000 people with online is about $3. With us, you're going to see it's about $1.36. Well, the average cost to reach 1,000 people in traditional advertising is $22 and up. That's the problem with small businesses, is they're lost. They don't know how to drive traffic. It used to be easy. They used to know how to buy radio. They used to know how to buy newspaper or print ads, and somebody else did all the work. And now they don't know what to do, and they're not interested in doing the work themselves. Okay, this is just a slide on day parting. So what is day parting? Inside of our tool, you can create campaigns. And in those campaigns, you can have them act in different ways. I want this to turn on Wednesday from 4 to 7, spend $5, then turn it off at 7 o'clock. I want this to turn on Sunday. It's my brunch special. I want it to show up at 8 in the morning only on Sundays, reach this particular geographic area, and then turn off at 1 o'clock because your brunch period is over. That's the kind of advertising that we can do here. And when you're reaching, and you'll see what this, what your reach and your CPM looks like on this. Like, you can reach thousands of people at the exact time that they might be vulnerable to, buying or coming in and patronizing your restaurant. So it's easy for a small business owner to understand this because it happens to them, and you can demonstrate it quite simply to them. Now, you can target the right audience inside of our tool. We've allowed you to target by age, household income, parental status, and gender. You do not need to with everything shop to it. You can get started without doing any heavy lifting at all, but you can tweak if you're interested in just targeting a male or female or a parent or non-parent or household income higher or lower and an age group. It's very simple to do. And we report on what's going on in each of those cohorts. So as I mentioned earlier, it's over 2 million websites, news pages, blogs, Google sites like Gmail and YouTube. So it's kind of a way to get really, really mass reach, which is the whole intent here. We've all seen these. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're clickbait. We're in the business of good. We do want traffic to come out of them, so we're not trying to, make it click here to see whatever crazy thing is going on, whatever part of the world. And oftentimes, a overall approach might look something like this. So 3 campaigns, you choose your monthly budget, you create the campaign for each special, you add your creatives and you set targeting, which we do for you, which we'll talk about as well in this. But you might have a lunch special, and that lunch special is a reminder to say, hey, check out what it is, click here, it's on my website. You don't have to change the ad, you just have to promote that you do have a lunch special. Put it on your Facebook page, drop them there. Put it on your Google My Business post, drop it there. But on Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., I want to spend $10 a day on promoting my lunch special. On Tuesdays, I want to promote my half-price wine special, but I only want it to turn on from 3 to 7. Maybe I have a larger target area because for lunch, I'm not driving very far, but I might drive a little further for that. So I want to spend $15 every Tuesday to try and reach and drive traffic into there. Same thing with a Wing Wednesday. So when we talk about day parting and campaigning, this is what we're talking about. You could change an individual campaign to say on this campaign, because it's a porterhouse special, target men only. You could say on this campaign, you can do all kinds of different things in there. But again, the point is keep it simple and get them started. Just a little bit of a deep dive into the case study. So what she did, this was the general manager of this restaurant called The Tavern, again in Canmore, Canada, so a resort town by a ski hill. And why it was effective for her is because, she's doing 2 things: reminding the people that live there that there's it's a fun night and come on out, and also for touristy people who don't really know where to go or what to search for or what to look for, you can pick them off pretty easy and get them to come in. So in total, she got $1.08 cost per 1,000 impressions, meaning for every dollar that she spent, she reached 1,000 people in that 20-kilometer, so think 12-mile radius of her business. So overall, she got 148,000 impressions. She spent on these campaigns. She spent $160 for it. She had 95 clicks. Again, you don't want to market this as a click or a call to action. The call to action is come into the restaurant, order the food, and you want your proprietor to measure your impact and our impact in sales at the till. So it's simple. All you need to do is choose a budget, add your creatives or purchase the creative add-ons, which we'll talk about, schedule your target audience, which we do with you or for you, and review your results from your reporting dashboard. So do you want to pause there, Hash? I haven't really been paying attention to kind of jamming through this. Is there anything that we need to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple of good questions here. First question is from Dave. I'll start from the newest first. How do we know that these customers came in through these ads?
You don't. So how we did it with them is we said, give me your last 4-week Tuesday sales. Right. So before we ran this campaign, we said, you're not doing anything else in the market. Give me your run rate is what we call it. Right. So her run rate was X on average. And this is the only thing she did. She spent $5 on a Tuesday to drive traffic, and she reached about, I guess it would be a little bit over. She reached about 5,600 people, and she saw $1,600 increase sales same day from her run rate. Of course, as we all know as consultants, we don't sell same-day sales. We sell lifetime value of a customer. So how many times does somebody come back? Even as a restaurant, that's what they're after, right? They want to pay for them once and leverage that over a longer period of time. So her same-day sales were over $1,600, giving her a $260 return on ad spend. Her lifetime value, we don't know. But that's how it was measured. It was measured based on that. And I think that's easy to set up with. If I could give you advice as somebody who had been in this world for a while, I would get away from anything other than turn this on, hire me, Let me run this for you and give me 6 months, and then let's go back in the till and see what's changed, right? And that is music to their ears because they don't know what a click through is or how to figure out if there's a conversion. You don't really want to spend a bunch of time in Google Analytics with Google Tag Manager and all that kind of stuff to try to predict what's going on. It's real simple. They either increased their sales or they didn't. And if they increased their sales, keep going or add more. If they didn't, that's fair ball. You know, it might not be somebody who continues and they churn out. But you're going to find that this is not about campaigning. This is about, think of it as an annuity. This is a set and forget. We're promoting your lunch special all the time. We're promoting your brunch specials all the time. It's like an always on thing that just keeps their business going. And at a starting point of $99, that's a wholesale cost. So most of our resellers mark us up by 100% because our cost per 1,000 impressions is so low compared to the market, which is how our industry measures effectiveness, is cost per 1,000 impressions. So that's kind of the long answer to a short question, but always a good one and asked almost in every webinar.
Excellent. And Chris actually asked, just to segue off of this, because he's asking, don't they need a website to begin an ad campaign?
No, you can drop them to a Facebook page. You could drop them to a squeeze page that you created on wherever. On Vendasta has lots of stuff that comes in with their bundles. You can do that. You can drop them to your Google business listing, any place that gets them into the business, right? So those are the options for a display. So give them someplace where there's a phone number or where there's a booking engine or where there's directions and a map to that business. Doesn't need to be a website.
Excellent. And Tahir is asking, can we use dynamic ads if we host them on our own servers?
By dynamic, do you mean responsive?
Tahir, would you like to?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dynamic ones are those ones that move around and they have video
you mean like a
playing
GIF?
in the back.
Yeah, so a GIF or something like that, like something that has some animation in it. Those can be created.
Yeah,
you can upload GIFs into the platform for sure. You don't need to host it yourself. You can just upload.
Some have video in the background too. Do you accept those?
I don't know. Maybe we'll put you into our tech group to here and take that one offline because I'm the mouthpiece. I'm not the developer.
Okay. One more question. Can we send traffic to like a lead gen page, like a email opt-in or name, just with sales letter, sales page?
If it's got a URL, we can drop them wherever there's a URL.
Awesome. And is this run through your guys' ad account? That's how we get such good.
Yeah, so it's all done. Everything with Shop2It is one master account and interface with Google. So we API directly into the Google. That's how we can do this at such low margins and costs because we don't really touch much. The machine learning keeps going and keeps adjusting and keeps doing all the bid management so that we make sure that those budgets are working well so that there's room for you guys. There's margin without work. Awesome. That's the whole point. The whole point is go get 20. Don't try and sell one.
In the
similar, thank you.
In a similar vein, Scott, Carla is asking, my prospect wants to know if the ad budget included in the sign-on cost.
Yeah, so we charge 20% management fee. So the $99, subtract 20%, so $70 is going directly to Google. So that's our management fee. You guys make significantly more money on this than we do, but we do it at scale, right? Like you really should be taking our $99 fee and doubling it and creating a stable base. I mean, my personal opinion is that this is an easy thing to walk into a business this afternoon and say, hey, do you want to start driving traffic to your slow days? What 3 days are your slow days? Okay, what promotions do you have for those days? I mean, we've all been in a pub, we've all been in a restaurant. You know, they are advertising to you at the table, called table talkers. And those things are like 10 pages long now, and there's something going on every day. Think happy hour, think all kinds of stuff, let alone the dueling pianos night, or they're running events. Restaurants are running events to get you back into their restaurant. They really prefer that you're in the restaurant, that you're tipping the staff, and that you're not just ordering from DoorDash or Skip the Dishes. That doesn't help them grow very much, right? And it certainly doesn't help them pay their staff and their personnel. And they have a problem. They're still paying big leases, big rents, right? And they need you back in the business, in the location. So they're doing things to try and drag you in. They don't know how to promote it.
Excellent. And Man Consulting is asking for ads that link to our site. Do we need to add anything on our website to track conversions to landing pages?
I mean, you can add, everything will show up. So we'll come a little bit to reporting as well, but there's reporting in two fronts. One is reporting that you'll be provided through the Vendasta dashboard and the executive report, and we are actually embedded into advertising intelligence as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the end of it. That's number one. If you're trying to track something deeper than that, you can use Google Tag Manager, and all the traffic that will come from the campaigns will show up in Google Analytics as one source. So if you're using Google Analytics, you can still use Google Analytics to get a little bit more deeper. But mark my words, with these smaller campaigns, smaller restaurants who we really do want to help, it is about the till, right? The more you can turn that conversion thing and buy yourself time and say, give me 6 months, run it out, and then measure it in the till. You have a 6-month run rate, you have a new 6-month run rate. Are we beating the old one? All right. And that's really going to be more music to their ears. These guys are busy. They're trying to figure out staff, which is a huge problem for a small restaurant. They're trying to figure out, when they place an order now, they really have no idea what the food costs are anymore. Like, this has been a crazy disintermediation in that whole thing. And so they're literally going, do I have to change my menu pricing? Like, they have a lot of things on their plate that they didn't have pre-pandemic that they do have now. So offloading traffic is going to be a huge thing to talk about to them. Increasing their actual revenue is the way to focus this, in my opinion. But all the tracking stuff that's available and any other type of click through is available with us.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Scott. There are no more questions at this time.
Okay. I'm going to keep, what I want to do now is just show you how to do one of these, and then we'll talk about reporting, and then we'll be done. You'll have made it. So how it works, this is called Google Display Ads for Small Business. It's in your marketplace. It includes two things. You can just run a campaign with us. It's variable priced, meaning you can say it starts at $99, that's the default, but you could say, I want to do $300 wholesale or $301.75 wholesale, however you want to do that. So it's no longer the $50 add-ons that were kind of a nuisance for all of us. That's all been changed now in the Vendasta marketplace. As well, we are prepared to do creatives for you. So we have 2 people on an internal design team. We see these quite a bit. And our turnaround time on creative is typically 2 days or under 2 days, but we guarantee that it'll be within 2 to 5 business days. If you are not a designer and you don't have a design solution created, we will charge you $40. These are add-ons, so you would order the product, enter the price, put the add-on into it. It's $40 for us to do one campaign creative. That gives you 4 sizes. So when you're doing display ad campaigns, you need the different sizes so that you can reach people on the different devices. Sorry, my computer just. Or under this particular thing with hospitality, we'll actually do the creative and set up 3 independent campaigns. Think lunch special versus Wine Wednesday or whatnot for $60. Also giving you 4 sizes in each campaign. So those are 2 add-ons that are there, but all you have to do is order the product, put it in, throw it in with a bundle if that's what you like to do or whatever you need to do. If you need us to help you and do the creative and the setup for it, no problem, we'll do that. And we'll talk about this promotion that we have going for you guys on the end of this call. Then you choose the budget. Again, we're 20%. You choose the master reseller user for the account. This will give that person admin access to the dashboard, which you're going to want. So we're white labeled in there. Your customer can go in there and see it's going to be under your brand. But when you go in there, you're going to see everything, just straight reporting. Here's what your cost per 1,000 impressions are. Here's what's going on. So once it's activated, you're going to want to come into our dashboard for you auditing us. And then you can let your customer go in there themselves. Because again, if you're gonna reach small restaurants, you don't want them to phone you or text you or email you. You want them to self-serve. So we've made it so it's very easy for you to self-serve. They can log in to the Vendasta dashboard, see it in the executive report, which shows up in their overall traffic, because we're in the ad intelligence as well. So you're gonna lock, this is our back end now, so you can see where it says Jason McTester. That would be your logo and your brand for your customer. And you create a campaign. Now, again, if you bring us on to do this, we're going to do this with you and for you, and we've got lots of video support on how to do it. You simply tell us the area you'd like to target and specify the URL you want the traffic to go to. So those are the first two things you have to do. You've told us how much you want to spend, target area. You can do that by zip code, you can do that by radius, you can do that by state, city, town, province, whatever it is that you want to target for that business. Again, if we're doing this for restaurants, we want to tighten it up, because I'm not driving, 45 minutes to your restaurant on a whim, right? Maybe if you're, some kind of super fancy place, I might do that. But if it's a lunch special, I need to be able to walk to it. So target it that way appropriately. This is on a per campaign basis. Again, we can do multiple campaigns inside of the one spend. So you can take your $99 wholesale and divide it by 3, 4, 5, 2 different campaigns. You have the option to select what's called targeting. So you can target by demographic, so by age group, you can target by gender, household, parental status, and then you have an ad schedule. So you can schedule these to say, I don't want my ads to run at midnight because I'm not really getting people coming to my restaurant at midnight. Or maybe I do want my ads to run at midnight because I'm a nightclub and I want to get those people to come into my bar. You can do all of that kind of stuff inside of here. It's very simple to do. We always have a default frequency cap. So a frequency cap is, don't show this ad more than 3 times to the same person on the same day. There's nothing worse than you see the same ad all the time. It's like watching a hockey game in Canada. You show me one more Tim Hortons ad, I don't know. Then it's about creatives. Again, you can hire us to do it. You can hire Vendasta to do it. You can do it yourself. There's lots of free content on the website. Learn Canva. You're in the business. Charge them what you want to create your creatives. But it does need to have creative. Various sizes. Here's all the different support or the sizes and types that are there. So you can see that one of the formats is a GIF, which is the animated, to answer your question. Maximum size. So you want to make sure that, these things need to load fast, but we help you with all of that kind of stuff. You can do things like say, my campaign is really only targeting people that are on their phones because it's a drive-by. So you can control where that will go by the size of the ad. So if you did a 320 by 50 mobile leaderboard, it's not going to show up on a desktop. It doesn't scale. So you could focus an ad to say, I'm just doing this in mobile just by controlling the ad size. But again, we have lots of support. We have lots of staff. We have a real dedicated resource that for all of you partners, some of you have used them, Christina, and she's good at this. Ask any one of your other partners who use us, or ask anybody who, like the Hashams and the sales reps of the world. We're good at that. We're attentive to it. She's caring. So the monitoring of performance. So we literally, because we can integrate this into Ad Intel, when you give a small restaurant access to the Vendasta backend, you want to keep them in my opinion, in the dashboard or the executive report, and that's it. Right? So because we are actually embedded into the Vendasta in advertising intelligence, this is a recent thing, you can actually see that overall impressions and engagements directly in the dashboard view. But of course, you can drill down into what you see in the top here, where we will show you what are the demographic targets that you're hitting. And I wouldn't, for small guys, let your customer back there, but you can. But we view it more like you auditing us, where you see everything in the raw data, the costs, the average cost per click. The customer only sees that it's going and what they're getting. They don't see the financial parts in their view of it. So I think we make it so that you can go out there confidently and talk to these people. Again, this is just a little plug on support. So we do it through chat. There's now chat inside of the Vendasta platform. That's probably the fastest way to get an answer from us, as we try to work with Vendasta to make it so that there's great dialogue between us. But you can book times, like we always have public calendars for our support people, book times to go through it. We are right in the process of starting to do more group learning. Like we're going to start to do webinars that will reach out to our clients and say, hey, do you want to learn this trick that we learned or that we saw someplace else that can help you grow? And away we go. So that's basically what we have for you today. And then at the very end of this, I'll talk to you a little bit about this promotion that we're going to do for you if Hashem lets me.
Of course, Scott, anything to help our partners, channel partners here. There's a question here from Jim Montague. Jim Montague, if I can get you to unmute and ask your question, because I'm having, if you just want to unmute and ask your question, that would be super awesome.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I can.
Okay, great. Hi. Good presentation so far. Thank you. I was just noticing that your the ad creation creates 4 sizes, but there's 6 that are the most popular. Can we will you charge us a little bit more to create all 6 if we want those? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't really. Right now, how it's working, Jim, is we kind of say that's out of the gate. But yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to go back to them and say, you know, I can't imagine that there's going to be an extra fee to get to all 6. Like really, once you've created the content, creating the scaling size is a little bit of work, but not a lot of work. So I think you can with confidence say Scott said there will be no extra charge if you get any pushback.
All right, Scott. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, a couple of things that we, in conjunction with Hashem and the Silver team, have put together is, and we're going to get this out to you, they're going to get it out to you, is we actually created a brochure, like imagine an old school brochure, right? A customizable white label brochure that, and I really do think that, like when I think of how I would sell this, I would go first of all to the places that I like, that I want to help. Right? Like in my local area, there's a little Greek pizza guy. They do seem to make the best pizzas. Hope there's no one from Chicago here. It's a little place called Mad Rose Pizza. They have no exposure. The owner is a, middle-aged Greek person and his family. They have no clue how any of this works. I was in there talking to him because I like the place. I'd like them to succeed. I'd like them to win. And it's literally, for $200 in one sit, it's like, do you want to give this a try? It's billable monthly on your credit card. It's simple to do. Do you want to just do it? Right? So that's very, very plausible in the sales process. There's no quotes. There's no anything. It's just go. Another thing is drop off a leave behind. In a restaurant, you drop off something with the hostess or host person, it makes it to the owner. And it's basically, here's this thing, here's this return on ad spend of $260. Do you have slow days? If you do, I can help you. Here's how you reach me. Here's my email, my phone number, my website. So that's the second thing that will be in there, as well as a call script. If you have sales staff or you have people, or even for yourself, how do you position this? And it's just to give you some ideas about how do I pick up the phone and approach somebody, right, with this type of a thing. Now, the point here is this is not, in my opinion, this is not about, I'm a digital marketing specialist. This is about, do you want more customers? I can do that and circle back to all the other things that you can help them with over time. And they're going to have them, right? I'm embarrassed because my website isn't great. You're going to be the trusted advisor. You're not going to be in a competitive market to sell them an upgraded website. Maybe they need to put a cart on it, or maybe they need to have an online ordering system, right? The whole point here is get them, earn their trust, demonstrate effectiveness by saying, let's measure the till, right? And then work with them for the next, who knows, decade. So it's about land and expand, or what we call leading with traffic, as Hashem alluded to earlier. They're desperate. They're white-knuckled hanging on right now. Mark my words, right? They're looking for solutions. So that would be the second thing in that package, as well as all of this, the case study that's white labelable for you. And you can just download it all off. We'll stick it into Google Drive. You can download it and use it in whatever way. Share it amongst, Hashem and the Silver team to help other people, because in my opinion, you're not really going to end up going after the same restaurants. You're going to go after the restaurants in your geographic area because they're going to trust you, right? It's going to be easier. If you do want to create a whole restaurant play, we're here to help. But that's an expensive endeavor and been tried by many. But the local play is where it's really at. So that, I think, Hash will get to them via email or however you guys want to distribute it.
I will be actually sending out an email to all the people that have had RSVP with the folder link of the contents that Scott is talking about. So keep an eye out for it, folks, after the session. Scott, there are a couple other questions in the chat as well. Anthony actually has something raving to say about you. It is that he has been using your services for at least a year. About 5 clients, and you and your team do a great job, that's why this is one of the hottest product in the Vendasta marketplace. Ed Washington wants to know, can we tweak the targeting details during the 6-month time period?
Oh yeah, no, it's real time. You can change it today. It'll take effect in about 30 seconds. Okay. Just a plug for Tony. I got to tell you just a fun story about Tony. Tony's one of our best customers, so thank you very much, Tony. We got a call from Jeff Leibel. Some of you might know Jeff, and Jeff at the time was Tony's rep, and Tony had a bit of a problem with somebody else who was doing display ads, and we did not have a display ads product. And Jeff said, if you can look after this guy for me, Tony, and make a display ads product, you're going to save me, Jeff, the rep, and you're going to help him, Tony, the customer, the partner. And so it was really, there is a display ads product in the Vendasta marketplace because of Tony Staccato and Jeff Leibel. Because we were search guys. We were like, what is display? Who's ever going to use that? Right? So thank you, Tony.
That's awesome. That's a good story. Dory Kaplan wants to know, this is geofencing made simple. It's in a language that they understand. I like that you made it simple. It wasn't a question, but
that's the point, right? If you're gonna go after small budget guys, you can't spend time on it, right? You need to spend time on the front loading, on sales, right? And the more that you can get to 8, 10, 12, 20, there's no reason why you couldn't run 100 local restaurants on. I don't care if they're local, but restaurants with ease. Like you spend 5 minutes to get them started, check in on them once in a while, have a review with them, land and expand, sell them more services like Tony does. He's quite good at it because he gets their trust and he proves that it works. And they don't think it's going to work. And it works every time. Like it's display advertising. It doesn't not work. It's been around since way before the internet's been around. It used to be called TV. It's the same thing. Billboards, same thing.
Scott, what I like about this is because I've been selling geofencing for over 4 or 5 years, and when you're talking to people like a university, where I started my geofencing days, they understand because they have VPs of marketing who understand the language of CPM, right? But when you're talking to the little guy, they get lost in how does it show up on your phone,
Right.
and then it's too hard to explain to them. Well, do you know what programmatic advertising is? But
right.
you lose them right away. So you just have to make it as simple as possible and say,
Right.
well, do you ask me how a TV ad gets to your thing? No, it's like the same thing. There's a network. We do that. You don't have to worry about that. You have to get them away from wanting to understand how it actually shows up on their phone, because if you don't, they don't feel they understand it, and then they won't want to buy it. So I love that you're trying to make it simple for our customer. I appreciate
right. That's the point, Doria. And this, the one other thing is, you're gonna run into restaurants who say, I do Facebook campaigns, and a Facebook campaign is great, except the reach is not. And the cost per 1,000 impressions means that they're going to get, if you look at those different numbers, it's getting, less than half of the reach. Not, I mean, in terms of the cost per thousand impressions. So if you pay Facebook, you're going to reach, 700 people or 500 people. And if you pay Google, you're going to reach 1,500 to 2,000. And it's that reach that drives the higher in the till conversions. So everyone understands Google. Google's easy to sell. You don't have to convince anybody that people use Google. What they don't know is Google is the biggest display network.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to selling this.
Great. We're looking forward to helping you.
Yes.
Excellent. And James Crow has his hand up as well. James, please unmute yourself. And
yeah. Hey, Scott.
Hey, James,
yeah,
how are you?
good, real good. I've been doing digital marketing for about 16 years, and it was a great reminder to me because I go to every business and go, that are working in Instagram and social media. I'm like, well, over 80% of your audience looks at your Google business profile, and that's your biggest social media platform there, and they don't work it. And so I get, this is great as a reminder that Google really has that, broad reach across the entire internet and placing the ad. So it really is a great one-stop shop. And just to give you a little more ammo for restaurants, I live in Pacifica and I have in Bay Area of San Francisco. The area got hit with some storms in January. Restaurants right now are hurting more than they ever have, even during the pandemic. And I have legacy restaurants that they had the worst January ever. They've had the worst month ever. Some of the restaurants, DoorDash, Uber Eats just raised their fees for the restaurants to about 30-35%. At that point in time, our local restaurants go, well, I can't charge $60 for a sub sandwich. It ain't going to work. So you're seeing restaurants now dropping DoorDash and Uber Eats. They're getting back to, you got to come into the restaurant, take out, pick up, dine in. So you're seeing a huge shift. You're seeing the parklets go away, right? Because in the Bay Area, the parklets are going away because the city said, well, those are parking spaces. Well, you can have them, but it's going to cost you $3,000 or $4,000 a month. And the restaurants are going, oh, that's it. So the parklets that are in the road, in the streets, they're coming up really quick, right? We're getting back to normal. But the restaurants are hurting now. They do need this help. They need it more than ever. They really do, because things are being taken away from them. Their businesses are down. So it's a really good time. I just want to back you up on that.
Yeah. And you know what? You're going to feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They are lost.
Right. And it is the actual backbone of many of our local economies, right? Absolutely. The Bay Area is cool, not because, of the Transamerica building, right? It's cool because of Vada V and the cool little restaurants that are there that change and whatnot. That's what makes your communities cool, right? Saskatoon is cool because of carvers,
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it cool. So you're going to, and they're desperate, like you're saying, James, I agree 100%. And they're open. Like they really don't know what to do, but they're not going to spend $5,000 a month out of the gate.
They don't have it right now. They don't have 1,000 right now, barely. I mean, they're barely holding on. And it's not just this area. This is like, it's citywide. It's they're just going through this. The cost of food and cost of doing business. It's over the top for them, and some might not survive, but you should go in there and try to help them survive through this for the next couple of months, especially,
Yeah. So whether it's yourself or whether it's sales people with you, this is something where, with conviction, I can help you, and I can help you in 2 days. Are you interested? Yeah. And it's $350, whatever it is, right?
Right.
So that's the part that really has seen the adoption on this, and for groups like yourselves, right? Anyone can do it. You can do it fast. There's no quotes, right? It's basically give it a shot, turn it on for 6 months. You don't have to commit to 6 months, but give me 6 months. That's how I would position it. And then say, let's measure the till. Go do an audit today and go do an audit tomorrow. And they don't have to do that. They're all using QuickBooks or something, right? Squirrel, whatever the microsys or whatnot. They can go in there and say, run me my overall receipts from January to June and from July to whenever. That's easy for them to say, yeah, we're up 10%. And the only thing I can attribute it to is you. So let's do more.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm meeting with a Chinese restaurant today. So it's perfect timing. Thank you.
For sure.
Scott, Ed Reyes has was wondering if you can talk a little bit about Google Display for agencies.
Yeah. Okay. We came out and give you guys to try and help you, give you a search product for agencies, and we learned a valuable lesson. Search is too expensive for agencies. What's happening in the search click stream, frankly, in my learning, is that when you're competing with these companies that don't ever have to see profit, GoDaddy, Web.com, Wix, all these groups, that they're just outbidding each other like crazy, and it's hard to get traffic. When you, and I haven't done this yet, but I've been working with Craig and Hashem about getting it started, and Cody, I think, is another one, to say, we really need to create a curated display ads campaign specifically around the snapshot report, in our opinion, for you agencies. Now, we're not interested in making money off selling you guys our wares. We're interested in helping you make money, sell our wares to your customers. So we typically go back in and strip out most, if not all, of our what we charge, our margin, to help you guys reach an audience, because the display ads have been doing a great job for agencies. It's dead simple. You can target a geographic area, obviously. You can you can target who you're looking for in that audience. So stay tuned. We are working with the Silver team, and we're working with Cody and his team to get that finalized and streamed up. But for sure, in the coming weeks, I would say, you're going to see us maybe do another one of these that says, here's how we teach, or here's how you outsource the marketing of your business to this solution, or at least a part of it, right? It gets leads. You guys are going to have to still work on the leads after, because AI hasn't figured that out yet. Thank God. Otherwise, there'd be no Hashem, there'd be no me, there'd be no you.
Excellent, excellent, folks. Any other questions for Scott? We have him for the next 5 minutes. So if you have any specific questions, use cases, now is the time. Excellent. Last word, Scott, and then.
Tony, we'll look after you to the end of the world. Don't worry about it. Well, he's saying, I want the ads for agencies today.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Sorry, just one question on the geofencing. Those were nice comments from the guy that was talking about it. Can you actually identify multiple locations?
Sure. So you would do that by zip code. So let's say you're in a downtown, let's say you're in the Bay Area as an example, and you want to target people in the Transamerica building. Well, the Transamerica building has a zip code. All of the businesses are in there. You can actually target that building. So you might be the lunch shop in the base of that building, and you can say, hey, at 11 o'clock, I want you to hammer anybody who's checking the weather and checking the news and checking their YouTube and their Gmail account, all that stuff, just in this building for an hour, and I'll spend $4 doing it every day.
Okay, but we can't actually geofence. Can't target an address with the radius. Just pick a zip code, and that's the.
Yeah, you can do that too. 20 miles around this zip code or this point of interest or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Scott, I have what I'm following up on Jim, because a lot of people now, they're going away from the office and they're going to work from home. You're doing addressable geofencing as well, so that we can target them at their homes.
What you would do that like in a radius thing, I think, Dory, if I'm getting it correctly from you. So you could target, these zip codes, or 20 miles from this my business, or this point of interest, or this place. So that's typically how they do that, and it's very effective. I mean, you can get them out of their houses because they're looking for some place to go. Like I find that probably the most effective one is a geo-targeted mobile campaign around dinner time, because I'm driving home and I'm calling my wife, who resents this call. saying, what are we doing for dinner? And she's like, why don't you sort it out? And I'm like, do you have any ideas? And if you have a significant other, this is how it works in my household. Well, I don't know, honey. What would you like? Well, I don't care. I'm not fussy anything. Okay, well, let's have fish. Oh, no, I'm not interested in fish. Okay, well, let's have pasta. No, I don't think pasta. Well, maybe you could make a suggestion. No, anything's fine. And that's the circular conversation that we have.
In my household, I make the decision.
Well, good.
But thank you. That answers my question. I appreciate that.
So one more quick question, and that is, do you have a list of markets or niches, or however you want to divide it up, of the ones that tend to work better with this display ads advertising, or maybe even a list of some that it doesn't work well, like you were saying about agencies?
So one of the things that we're going to send you is a reseller resources section that we have publicly there, where we try and publish content for you guys to be able to use. In there, there's a full idea. Where is there? It is. And actual cost per 1,000 impressions that we're getting by category. So it'll give you an idea. The reality of selling this, in my opinion, though, is you don't know it doesn't work until it doesn't work for you. So can you guys see that part of my screen? This is reseller resources. So this is just in our help desk stuff specific for the Vendasta partners. And under the sales resources, there's a bunch of search stuff, a bunch of display stuff. But the display ads average. So every quarter or so, we publish this and say, what did we learn last quarter and where are we? Because every one of your customers is going to ask, well, what can I expect? Right? So what you can expect is that for, on average, that should be $99. They're going to get 70,000 impressions, 61 clicks at $1.35 CPM. But this is what you're looking for, which is, what does it look like by some of the top level categories? So, for real estate agents, this is a great one. They understand this. They don't know how to do it. They love it. Hospitality is another big category for us. Home services, you're coming in at average cost per 1,000 of $1.17. Now, just to put that in perspective, there are other competitors to us in the Vendasta marketplace, and they're $5 per 1,000 impressions. So that's how they bill you. We're more of we're going to bill you whatever we have to pay, less our 20%. So there's just a huge room for markup for you guys in this stuff. But that's all available. It's public. It will be included in the package that I cajole Hash and the team to get sent to you guys who attended, as well as for the next 90 days, for any of you that attend this, we're going to do the ad creatives for free. So we'll do, for any hospitality services guy that you guys go in there and get in the next 90 days, you will not have to pay the $60. So we will create 3 campaigns for you. We'll go in and set them up with and for you, and you're good to go. So the whole idea here is to get you selling. Like, what we're trying to accomplish with our products and with Hashim's help is to say, how do we teach you how to build a recurring, stable business? Now, some of you are good at this. Right? Yeah, and you can say Scott said 6 is okay. Yeah. Some of you are good at this and experienced, and some of you are new. And this is to try and help you think that, instead of fishing for whales or fishing for marlin, a pretty good school of red snapper can feed you for a long time. And that's what we're trying to do, is combine those things. My story about owning an agency, and then we'll get off this because I know I'm pushing it, is I hated Fridays, because Fridays is when my big clients fired us every time. Friday at 4 o'clock, hoping that you were out having a beer and there was a voicemail. Hey, it's been great, but we've gone another direction. Let's talk. So I hated Fridays, because if they represented more than 20 to 25% of my business, I was scared. Because if you're living off of just big guys and you don't have a foundation to backfill it, those Fridays can be really, really tenuous days. So this is about building a foundational business that's far different than fishing for whales. I don't think you shouldn't fish for whales. I just think that when you are hungry, go get the red snapper, because it'll feed you. That's us.
Is that slide you showed with the comparison of Google display ads versus Facebook, other platforms, is that going to be in the information you're sending out?
Yeah, we're going to send you the whole thing. We're going to give you more, I don't want to waste your time, but there's some stuff that you're going to be able to pick out of there that work for you. So we're not going to try and do that for you. We're more of a, here, we put this together, do what you want with it, do what you can with it. So yes, for sure, it will be in it.
Perfect. That brings us to the end. Thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate you taking the time and coming and talking to our partners. Thank you so much. We hope to see you soon. And for channel partners, agency partners, good luck selling. And thank you so much for coming. Take care, guys.
Thank
Okay,
you.
have a good one.